Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. How are you all? I hope you people are good and safe at your home. If it's so, it's very good. And please have a vigilance towards your health. Take care about your health. The second wave has begun in the COVID-19. Not only these diseases, there are many other diseases which are waiting to attack our body. So that reason, avoid all the things by following the precautionary measures. Drink hot water, think positively, eat well cooked food and the fresh food, and be happy, do hard work. So health is first and foremost thing which can take you to the better future. Along with that, education you need to update. You need to get an education according to that year, according to that age. You need to update your education knowledge, is it not? So in the last class, we have started to discuss about the revision of a second chapter. It's called a physical features. You know the meaning of physical features and India. So in the first chapter, what we discussed, it's about the basic information. It's must predominant features. What we discussed in the first chapter, it's about the basic information in discussing about physiography of India. That's what we discussed about the size, location, and neighboring countries. It's all very much important. Now in the last class we got introduction about this chapter, that how the whole world, means whole earth got formed, the age of earth. What is the age of earth? 4.6 billion years ago, not million. Million is equal to 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and billion is equal to 100 crore, isn't it? So that's about, in the last class we started to discuss about all those things, and we have discussed about the plate tectonic, technological movement of a plate. This lithosphere, it's continuously moving, diastrophic force. It is a diastrophic force. So because of this plate tectonic, all our continent got formed, and also the Himalayan mountains and other type of mountains, and all the physical features what we can see on the earth's surface, it's all because of two forces. One is endogenic force, another one is exogenic force. That's what we discuss. Now we'll continue the discussion of the physical features of India. Like we have the 6 physical features of India. First one from the top, as I told, if you get a questions on this chapter on this topic, you should get a virtual image of a India map with the physical features. That in the top, that is about the Himalayan mountain ranges. In the below of that, we have a northern plain. In the western part, we have desert, Thar desert. And if you go southern part, you will get a peninsular plateau. Then both the side, we have western Ghats and eastern Ghats we have. Then we have a coastal plain. Then we have 2 important islands which is belong to India. So that's about, we'll be discussing deeply. So already we have discussed, we had a revolution in the revision for the first term. Now we'll have a brief revision about this chapter. The Himalayan mountains. So here the Himalayan mountain ranges. It's about the ranges. What do you mean by mountain? Mountain is up elevated land to the great height. Is a mountain. Hill is a up elevated land, but less in height than the mountain. In the hill, it's not hills and the mountain. They are both different. Hills are homogeneous, only one, the separate hill. The ranges, mountain ranges are connected. Hill ranges also they are connected. The mountain ranges, range means connected each other. Like mountains or a big elevated land, if it is alone, it's a mountain, single mountain. So if it is connected mountains, it's called as mountain range. Suppose it's connected with so many 10 or 20 or 100 mountains together, as like the Himalayan mountain ranges, it's called as ranges. Here we can see, suppose it's one mountain. This mountain is continuously connected with the other important mountains, so it's a ranges. We have divisions in that. We have different ranges. One ranges, second, two, third. There are different types of ranges. But namely, in the Himalayan mountain ranges, we have 3 ranges. So that's we'll be discussing. The Himalayas are young fold mountains. These fold mountains, this convergent boundary that causes fold fault in that. Is not. It causes for fold fault of the land features. Fold fault. Fold, it's a folded, it's not, it's folded, and also fault having undulations is also a fault. So these Himalayan mountain ranges mainly it's formed due to convergent plate boundary. The convergent plate boundary is Laurentian boundary, and this one is Indo-Australian plate. Laurentian plate, Indo-Australian plate. So India is a subcontinent. We call it as a subcontinent because the India is not belong to the Asian continent. Just is connected. The India landmass is belong to the Gondwana landmass. So it's called as subcontinent. It's not belong to the same continent of Asia. So it's called as a different continent, subcontinent. So this subcontinent that collided with this Laurentian plate and that made for the upliftment of Himalayan mountain, it's folded. So it's called as fold mountain, Eng fold mountain. There are many other mountain ranges in the world which is got formed after the formation of Himalayan mountain ranges. But even we call these Himalayan mountain ranges as Eng fold mountain. What is the reason? What is that? Because these Himalayan mountain ranges even now it's growing. It is becoming new in every year. It's growing around the 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, centimeters. It's growing in every year. Not like other mountain ranges are not growing such like what we are having a growth in the Himalayan mountain ranges. So it's called as highest mountain in the world, which are the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. It is lofty, it's having high peaks. The high peaks it's having somewhat the same length of a peak, somewhat average 6 kilometers of average, 7 kilometers of average peaks height we have, and rigid or rugged. So it's rigid means it's not having the continuously uniform mountains. It's having small mountains and the big and medium mountains in between. There are different types of mountains. Rigid mountains are there here. The Himalaya are 2,400 kilometers long. The Himalayan mountain, it has 2,400 kilometers of long. The Himalayan mountain that actually appears from this area, from the Pakistan, that moves up to your Arunachal Pradesh. So this connection has actually started from the Pamir knot. There is a Pamir knot. Knot andre gotu ganta kirtakantadu. So from there Pamir knot, the many mountain ranges has spread. It's got a spread from that Pamir knot. So at the mountain ranges, many mountain ranges like Himalayan mountain ranges, there are many other important mountain ranges that got connected together. It's called as Pamir knot. The name of that is called as Pamir knot. From there the Himalayan mountain ranges also it has came from there. You have somewhere Pamir knot, from there it has came. But we can see the mountain ranges which is protruded out from here. From these places we don't have any upland because it's submerged under the ground. It is not having much collided, but it is there inside the crust. But here from here it has came up. So it has a length of 2,400 kilometers and it has width of 400 kilometers to the 150 kilometers width from Kashmir to the Arunachal Pradesh respectively. Here what the picture showing it is somewhat different. The width here is very high. From here it starts from here Tajikistan, here to here the mountain ranges are there, means the width of mountain ranges is here from here to here. The width is somewhat 400 kilometers. It has a width of 400 kilometers. As it goes towards eastern direction, towards Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, so the width is very less. It has only 150 meters, 150 kilometers of width. It has 150 kilometers of width. As it goes towards the west, it has a more width. It has a more width. As it goes towards east, the width decreases. Along with the height. Here in the west we have more height, means peak of mountains which is there in the west, it has having more height. As it goes towards south, the height decreases. The Himalayas have 3 parallel ranges in the longitudinal extent. It has 3 parallels in the longitudinal extent. Longitudinally from north to south lines is longitude is not. From the north to south extent, we have three divisions. One is Himadri, Himachal, and the Shivalik. Inner Himalaya, Inner Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, Outer Himalaya. It's about the three ranges, divisions what we have, that are greater or inner Himalaya, also called as Himadri. It's also called as a greater, inner, or Himadri. This middle Himalaya is also called as Lesser Himalaya, Middle Himalaya, or Himachal. Then this one, Outer Himalaya and Shivalik. Here we have Himadri, which is having more height than any of these middle or lesser Himalaya. Then middle Himalaya, which lies the ranges which lies in between the Himadri and Shivalik. The height of these is somewhat less comparing with the Himadri, but more comparing with the Shivalik. Then the Shivalik, it lies in the southern part of this Himalayan mountain, that is having less height comparing with the Himadri. So here Himadri, it has average height of Himadri is 7 kilometers. The mountain which is there in the Himadri mountain ranges, the average is 7 kilometer. The highest is 8 kilometers. This is not 8 kilometer or 8,848 meters. 8.8 kilometers is highest in the Himadri. But in Himachal, the average height of mountains is about the 6 kilometer. The average height is 5 to 6 kilometers. Here 6 to 7 kilometer. The width of a mountain ranges here in the Himadri, it's more, means it is having more width, around 100-200 kilometers of width it has in the Himadri. But in Himachal, it has less than 100-150 kilometers of width it has, and height also is somewhat lesser than the Himadri. But in Shivalik, the height is lesser than the 5 kilometers, 4 kilometers, and even 1 kilometers of height it's having less. We can see the hill mountain ranges in the Shivalik which is having less than 1 kilometers even. It's having very less in the height, and also width is somewhat 50, and somewhat actually it has more width. Shivalik has a more width. Shivalik ranges has more width, and the Himadri is somewhat less, but the Himadri also is having less width comparing with the Shivalik, but it has more width compared with the Himachal. So that is about, it's a longitudinal divisions, and even we have a latitudinal divisions. As you go from the west to east latitudinally, you will get the divisions of Himalayan mountain ranges. These are the Punjab Himalaya, the Himalaya which lies in between the Indus and Sutlej. Indus is a main river, is not one of the main rivers which originates in the Himalayan mountain ranges. Is Indus mountain range, Indus river. It's the Indus river. So that Indus river, it has many tributaries. Sutlej, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, these are the tributaries of river Indus, you know. So the Himalayan mountain which lies in between Indus and Sutlej is the Punjab Himalaya. It's called as a Punjab Himalaya. Indus and Sutlej, it's a Punjab Himalaya. The Himalaya which lies in between the Sutlej and Kali is called as Kumaon Himalaya. It's a Kumaon Himalaya. So here, how do you make divisions, divide in these Himalayan continuous ranges? So these continuous ranges, it is not continually connected. It's broken in between. These ranges got broken in between because of flowing of river water. Here, the Indus river that makes a boundary. And here, the river Sutlej that makes a boundary, and also it is divided, the connection or continuation of a mountain ranges by flowing of river water. So that creates a valley there. The Himalayan mountain ranges which is continuously connected is got break because of Sutlej. So it has a break from year to year that have a continuous connection of mountain, and it has a break. So it is called as Punjab Himalaya. So here from the Sutlej river Sutlej to the river Kali. So we have another one division which is got divided by this river Kali and Sutlej. So it's called as Kumaon Himalaya. From river Kali to Teesta, we have another one division is called as Nepal Himalaya. From river Teesta to the Kumaon, river, it's a tributary of Brahmaputra. So this forms another one division is called as what you call the Nepal, or what is that? Assam Himalaya. Assam Himalaya. Kali, between the Kali and Teesta, it's Nepal Himalaya. Between Teesta and Dibang or Sangpu, it's called as Assam Himalaya. These are the longitudinal and latitudinal divisions of a Himalayan mountain ranges. So the uses of Himalayan mountain ranges. What are the uses we have from these Himalayan mountain ranges for the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent? We have many uses. What are those? During a summer, suppose the people during a summer, they will be experiencing very hot, because this portion, northern portion of India, that lies in a temperate zone, because that passes through the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. So this portion will be experiences very high temperature during a summer. Then suppose the Himalayan mountain ranges could not be there. Suppose it would not be there, then people of the places, these northern place, would have experiences very high temperature. They would have experiences very high temperature, and it should be during the summer. They could have feel very hard to settle, very hard to live in that places during the summer 3 months. Only because we have Himalayan mountain ranges over there, the people can survive in the northern plain in this part, because very high temperature and the dry wind which blows here, it is made cooler and it is made balanced because of this very cool area. So here Himalayan mountains that always feels very cool because that area will be covered by the Himalayan ice. So throughout the year that will be covered by the ice. So this area, why it is covered? Because of height. As the altitude increases, temperature decreases. So that is the reason these mountain peaks and the mountains, whole mountains covered by the ice, because it is having more height. So the wind in the summer season, the high temperature that cannot be prevails very high and a very dry wind over here, because it will be moderated by this year. Then during the summer, the high pressure creates over here in the Tibetan plateau. It's a Tibetan plateau. So here the high temperature, high pressure will be created in this Tibetan plateau. So that dry wind during a summer, that dry wind that moves towards the southern part towards low pressure will be created in the equatorial area. So this wind that moves towards southern direction, these wind are very dangerous, because that it's very dry wind that carries sand along with that, and it's very dangerous and deadly wind which blows from Tibetan towards southern part of India. But we are not affected by the dry wind, because we have a Himalayan mountains which makes obstacle for the blowing of wind from the Tibetan plateau. So because of this Himalayan mountain, we are not experiencing very dry wind effect to the Indian subcontinent, because this Himalayan mountain that hurdles for the blowing of wind. We are having more important from that. And another one important what we are getting from this Himalayan mountain is that the Himalayan mountain that provides water for the 3 important rivers. One is Indus, Brahmaputra, then Ganga river. So these are the 3 rivers which originates from these Himalayan mountain ranges, that gets the water because of melting of ice in the Himalayan mountain that gets a water. That water in the Himalayan mountain that gets a melt, so that turns the liquid form into the water that turns from the solid form to the liquid. So that liquid form that flows towards the southern direction in the slopey area. So that forms these rivers, important rivers. So because of this important rivers, we are having good life. The people are living their good livelihood, means they are continuing their good livelihood over here, because this river water that carried the alluvial soil over there and that deposited, and also that alluvial soil that supports for the growth of good crop, and most of the people are inhabited over here. We can see the most population over here because of this alluvial soil and the sediments which is deposited over there. So that's what we are having the uses from these Himalayan mountain ranges. Then you will go for the northern plain. Whatever the color with a somewhat dark green which is mentioned or which is drawn, it's all the plain areas. Even in the Pakistan, these plain areas also there which is covered by the alluvial soil, because these areas in the Pakistan are drained by the Indus River, and also it has 5 important tributaries as we discussed. That tributaries also carries the sediments from the Himalayan mountain, and that also deposits over here. So that's also there. Also we have a plain area. So we are discussing about India. Here we are having a plain area up to here, except the Bangladesh. So here we have a plain area. So the length of a plain area is same as we have the Himalayan mountain. It has 2400 kilometers of length plain area what we have in India. All the plain areas are filled or covered by the alluvial soil. It's formed because of alluvial soil. This plain area formed because of alluvial soil. So these alluvial soil are carried by the rivers, tributaries of Ganga, Brahmaputra and the river Indus. So we'll discuss about that. The northern plains spread over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. The catchment area of these plain areas is 7 lakh square kilometer, and 240 kilometer long and 240 kilometers to the 2400 kilometers long. Sorry, it is not 240, 2400 kilometers long it has, and 240 kilometers to the 320 kilometers broad, means width. Here around approximately 400 kilometers width it has, 400 kilometer width here, and as it moves towards east and the west, the width is decreases. Width of a northern plain decreases as it goes towards west and east to 240 and 240. The river that flows to the plain from the mountain are involved in depositional work. The rivers are continuously, now also they are involved in a depositional work, depositing, and settling down, the depositing. It's now also continuous, because of this reason we call these Himalayan regions as perennial rivers. Perennial river antandre, the river which has water in it throughout the year is called as a perennial river. So these 3 rivers are called as perennial rivers, because always it will be having water throughout the year, because the ice capture which is there in the Himalayan mountain, that gets melt because of this global warming and the high temperature. So that reason that rivers will get water throughout the year, so it's called as a perennial rivers. These rivers always continuously that involves in the depositing sediments. So these depositing sediments, it's created northern plain in the northern part of India. The difference in relief causes the northern plain to have 4 regions. So in this alluvial soil, it has regions. These all the alluvial soils, but in different region we call with a different name, different region. So every region has a alluvial soil, but in the different texture, but in the different size, different color. But all these things are alluvial. So this Bhabar is adjacent to the float hills of a Shivalik and narrow 8 to 6 kilometer width belt of pebbles and bubbles. The Bhabar Himalayan mountain illide. River which flows from Himalayan mountain. First ಫೂಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಫೂಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ರಿವರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ದಪ್ಪ ದಪ್ಪ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು, ದಪ್ಪ ಪೆಬಲ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯನ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನಿಂದ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬೀಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೀರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಬಾಬರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಾಬರ್, ಅದು ಅಲ್ಯುವಿಯಲ್ ಸಾಯಿಲೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬಾಬರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. In a Bangar, old alluvial plain which rises above the level of a flood plains. So then Kadar, Kadar is a newer and younger alluvial of flood plains deposited by the rivers blowing down to the plain. And Terai lies adjacent to the Bhabar region, composed of newer alluvial and it is thickly forested. Here, first one it's about Bhabar and Terai, then Kadar, then Bangar. Actually, it's like it's chronological order. First one is a Bhabar, which having some more size of pebbles, and Terai it's like some less in a size, and that will be grown with some bushes, marshy bushes will be grown over here. Then Kadar, that Kadar alluvial will be deposited by the river water. Then Bangar, the Bangar is earlier deposited by the river water. So on the Bhabar, the Kadar alluvial soil will be deposited. The new alluvial soil is a Kadar. Old alluvial soil is a Bangar. So that's about the northern plain what we discuss. From the next class, we'll discuss about the remaining 4 important physical features. I hope you understood, and you will be having an exam after the completion of this chapter, means class test. You need to appear for that and work hard, and you will be getting a homework in every day. Complete that homework and send through the WhatsApp. Thank you. Have a nice day.